pretty sure Star Wars was inspired by World War II, which sounds crazy, but hear me out. In Star Wars, the Jedi and the Sith are basically just space samurai that don't really get along. In World War II, America was both fighting Japan and had a bunch of people of Japanese ancestry that were Americans, so they had good Japanese people and they had bad Japanese people. In Star Wars, most of the good space samurai got killed off when the political leader of the Republic, the president, so to speak, an elderly man that was always seen sitting down, executed Order 66. In World War II, Japanese Americans had their constitutional rights stripped away and were forced to go into internment camps when the president of the United States, the leader of the Republic, an elderly man that was always sitting down, signed Executive Order 9066.
They're on to me, dude. Those guys are sharp as nails up there. You can't put anything past them.
Despite that, 18,000 Japanese Americans would still volunteer to go fight for America in World War II, and they became known as the 442nd Infantry Regiment. Not only did they fight, they went on to become one of the most decorated units in American history, and the most notable member of the 442nd Infantry Regiment, the main character, so to speak, was a man by the name of Daniel Inouye, who earned the Medal of Honor when he lost his right arm in combat. And if that's still not enough to convince you, in World War II, the 442nd kind of specialized in siege warfare. They were known for being able to punch through German defenses that were, ladies and gentlemen, America's first ace of aces of World War II, Joe Foss. During the 3 months he was stationed on Guadalcanal, he is credited with downing 26 Japanese aircraft and surviving 3 crash landings. After tying Eddie Rickenbacker's record set back in World War I, he was deemed too valuable of a political asset to remain in the field. He was awarded the Medal of Honor and sent back to America to go on war bonds tours. Because of that, he didn't see much action for the rest of World War II, but after his military career, he then went on to become a successful businessman, served 2 terms as governor, and then after that, he got bored, decided to become the chairman of the AFL, the American Football League, and then he is the one that came up with the idea that the best team from the AFL should compete against the best team from the NFL. Essentially, he created the Super Bowl. Oh, and he founded a children's hospital.
A center for ants!
He would then make major news headlines one last time in his life after he was stopped at the TSA at the age of 86 years old because they were under the impression that his Medal of Honor was a weapon similar to a ninja throwing star. Now, on one hand, that's completely ridiculous, but on the other hand, in defense of the TSA, pretty much anything in this guy's hands could probably be turned into a weapon.
I need gopher chucks.
If you want to hear the full story and find out why, I've got the full video up right now on my YouTube channel and over at pepperbox.tv. Links to both of those and my merch store available at thefatelectrician.com. Quack, bang, out. Ladies and gentlemen, America's revolutionary pirate, John Paul Jones. Originally a Scottish merchant marine that fled to the 13 colonies fearing an unfair trial after he was forced to kill a man that tried to have mutiny on his ship.
No! Mutiny! Mutiny!
From there, he became one of the first commissioned officers in the Continental Navy that would then turn into the United States Navy. From there, he became the first man to raise the Grand Union flag, America's first flag, over America's first ever commissioned warship, the USS Alfred. He created the battle plan for the Marine Corps' first ever amphibious landing in the Bahamas. John Paul Jones and his crew then conducted raids up and down the Canadian coastline, burning down British factories and seizing British ships. After seeing how effective he was essentially conducting guerrilla warfare on the water, he was sent over to France and given the extremely ambiguous orders to distress the enemy.
You shut up! I'm so fucking scared right now, you shut up!
He loaded up his ship, the USS Ranger, with United States Marines, muskets, blunderbusses, covered the decks and swivel guns, and proceeded to do a bunch of pirate shit. He conducted raids on Whitehaven and the Earl of Selkirk's estate, becoming the first man in over 100 years to invade mainland Britain. When the British Navy tried to stop him, he used his Marines to board and commandeer the HMS Serapis, becoming the first American to ever commandeer a British warship. By the end of his career, he had never lost a naval engagement, and he was credited with capturing approximately 46 enemy ships. If you want to hear the entire story, I've got the full-length video up over on my YouTube channel and over at pepperbox.tv. Links to both of those and my merch store over at thefatelectrician.com. Quack, bang, out. Ladies and gentlemen, my favorite cinematic Easter egg of all time, Mr. Miyagi's military career. Now, pretty much everybody knows Mr. Miyagi. He is the sensei or coach of the Karate Kid. If you pay attention to the movies and TV show, not only do you find out that Mr. Miyagi earned the Medal of Honor, but he was a member of the 442nd Infantry Regiment.
Yes, sir. Sergeant Miyagi report to kill many Germans, sir.
While Mr. Miyagi was a fictional character, the 442nd Infantry Regiment was a very real military unit that was almost exclusively comprised of Japanese Americans that had volunteered to fight for America, despite the fact that many of them and their families had been placed in internment camps after FDR signed Executive Order 9066, stripping every Japanese American of their constitutional rights. Not only did they volunteer and not only did they fight, they went on to become the most decorated American unit of World War II for their size and tenure, earning 8 Presidential Unit citations, 21 Medals of Honor, 29 Distinguished Service Crosses, somewhere between 300 and 600 Silver Stars, 4,000 Bronze Stars, and 9,486 Purple Hearts. So if you want to hear the real story about the 442nd Infantry Regiment, I've got the full-length video up over on my YouTube channel and over at pepperbox.tv. Links to both of those and my merch store over at thefatelectrician.com. Quack bang, out. Ladies and gentlemen, the most gangster general of World War II that you've probably never heard of, Terry De La Mesa Allen, aka Terrible Terry. Upon entering World War I, he was stationed with a supply unit, but Terry wanted to go into combat. So, as an officer, he just showed up to an infantry officer graduation ceremony, pretended like he had attended the course, got his certificate, and then led a company in combat in World War I.
She doesn't even go here.
While serving on the front lines, he was shot in the face. Not only did this not stop Terry, it actually cured his lifelong stutter. He got shot in the face and actually ended up being able to talk better, which I believe makes him the original 50 Cent. In World War II, when one of his subordinate officers refused to go on a dangerous mission with him and his men, he simply shot the man in the ass and said, "There, you're wounded, you're out." Under Terrible Terry's command, the 1st Infantry Division was so outrageously effective that despite the fact that Patton couldn't stand him, Patton also refused to invade Sicily without him. And if you want to find out all the reasons why, I have the full-length video up on my YouTube channel and over at pepperbox.tv. Links to both of those and my merch over at thefatelectrician.com. Quack bang, out.